No curfew, no danga, UP mein sab changa, says Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. But the question remains, where are Guddu Muslim and Shaista Parveen? How is it, despite multiple teams of Prayagraj Police and the Uttar Pradesh Police Special Task Force using both human intelligence and technical intelligence, the two, along with the third shooter Sabir, continue to evade arrest? The Chief Minister is very confident. UP no longer seeing any riots. UP is looking at progress. We'll talk about that in greater detail. Also on India First, Operation Kaveri gets underway to rescue stranded Indians in Sudan as the fighting between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary force continues despite Eid festivities. The latest information that we have, 500 plus Indians have so far reached Port Sudan from Khartoum and more are underway. So they've travelled about 800 kilometers in strife-torn country. I'll get you much more on that story. I'm Gaurav Sawant as always. Let's get started with the headlines at 10. Political big guns boom in Karnataka. Union Home Minister Amit Shah campaigns in the Vokaliga stronghold Mysuru. Dares Congress to declare a Lingayat chief ministerial face. Rahul Gandhi leads the Congress campaign in the poll-bound state, rakes up the Adani issue once again. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar meets Mamta Banerjee and Akhilesh Yadav, slams the BJP for picking self-publicity over development. Mamta Banerjee asks all opposition parties to unite. Is opposition inching closer to a Gadbandhan? Prime Minister Narendra Modi dons the traditional mund during his Kochi roadshow in Kerala. He's also met bishops as part of the Narendra Modi government's Christian outreach. India launches Operation Kaveri to bring back stranded Indians from war-torn Sudan. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says committed to assist all our brethren. Pakistani-Canadian columnist and author Tariq Fateh dies at 73 after prolonged illness. Tariq Fateh was known for his progressive views on Islam and his fiery stance on terror state Pakistan. Let's begin by getting you the latest on Uttar Pradesh. The killing of UP Don Atiq Ahmed and the encounter of his son Asad continues to dominate the political landscape. What's happened today? India Today has accessed a new video that was found on Atiq Ahmed's son's Asad's mobile phone. The video shows a young man being beaten black and blue and tortured. He's being beaten with a belt as he sits on the floor stripped of all his clothes. Police say this just goes on to show Asad was following in his mafia father's footsteps. There's another video that reveals the real horror of the gangster, and this video shows a blood-stained knife and clothes inside Atiq Ahmed's office. Blood can also be seen on the sofa, walls and staircase. A blood-stained dupatta has also been found along with a woman's purse. Pictures have now emerged of Atiq Ahmed's son Asad posing with the text "Dawn" tattooed on his face. There's another image of Asad seated with a wall poster that reads "Land of the Ultimate Gangsters." Police say this clearly shows that Asad did not want to become a lawyer as is being claimed by some. He actually wanted to become a mafia don and follow in his father's footsteps. At the back of the killing of Don Atiq Ahmed and the encounter of his son Asad, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has proudly declared that everything in his state is now moving towards development from Mafia Raj. He hit out at the Samajwadi Party. Yogi Adityanath was in Saharanpur where he said, in today's Uttar Pradesh, there is no extortion, there is no mafia, there is no ransom, and nobody is taking away the property of private individuals. It's rule of law that prevails. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear a plea seeking an independent probe into the killing of Atiq Ahmed and his brother Ashraf. The plea comes up for hearing on Friday. From the bulldozer model to the encounter model, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath is clear. His aim is Mafia Mukt Uttar Pradesh. And he said he's achieved it with no riots, no curfew, in his state only development. Yogi Adityanath, of course, was in the eye of a storm for saying Mafia ko mitti mein mila denge. Today, he said that aim has been achieved, especially while comparing the situation in Uttar Pradesh today with the situation when the Samajwadi Party was in power. Our UP Bureau gets you this report on Yogi's No Danga, Sab Changa UP.
आज यूपी नो कर्फ्यू नो दंगा, यूपी में सब और चंगा.
11 days after the killing of gangster Asad in an encounter, 9 days after the murder of Atiq Ahmed and his brother Ashraf, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has a message for gangsters and dons in his state.
आज यूपी नो कर्फ्यू नो दंगा, यूपी में सब और चंगा. रंगदारी ना फिरौती, अब यूपी नहीं है किसी की बपौती. माफिया अपराधी हो गए अतीत, सुरक्षा खुशहाली रोजगार का अब बना है प्रतीक.
Making it clear that this was the era of Qanun Raj, Yogi Adityanath sent out a resounding message from Saharanpur to unlawful elements of a no-mercy approach to crime. Yogi Adityanath has faced brickbats from the opposition over the killing of Atiq and over the encounter of his son Asad. But clearly, none of these comments have shaken up the UP Chief Minister. His mitti mein mila denge comment came true for both Atiq and his son.
जिस अतीक अहमद के खिलाफ पीड़ित परिवारों ने मुकदमा दर्ज कराया उसके परिवार के खिलाफ, वह समाजवादी पार्टी के द्वारा पोषित माफिया है और उसकी कमर को तोड़ने का काम हमारी सरकार ने किया है. और फिर मैं कह रहा हूं, इसे हम कह रहे हैं, इस माफिया को मिट्टी में मिला देंगे.
And it led to his ministers hailing the Chief Minister over encounter Raj in UP.
इन दोनों हत्यारों को, चाहे उसमें असद हो चाहे गुलाम नाम का हो, और इनके इनकाउंटर से प्रयागराज प्रदेश और सभी लोगों में बहुत खुशी है कि इस प्रकार के अपराधियों के खिलाफ कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए थी. यह मुठभेड़ में मारे गए और हो सकता है कि ये पकड़ करके आते तो ये फांसी के फंदे पर चढ़ते.
The Yogi style of justice has now been infamous across the country. From the bulldozer model to the encounter model, Yogi Adityanath has now made it clear that whatever his political detractors have to say, it doesn't matter. Law and order in UP by hook or crook is his only priority. Bureau Report, India Today.
नो दंगा, यूपी में सब और चंगा.
A blood-stained dupatta, a knife, bloodstains on the wall and the sofa were recovered from Mafia Don Atiq Ahmed's office almost 10 days after his killing. Whose blood is this? A woman's purse has also been found. Forensic teams have collected samples from the bulldozed office of Atiq Ahmed. Meanwhile, there's another video of Atiq Ahmed's son Asad that has surfaced. Now, this video has come from his mobile phone and it shows a young man being beaten with belts at an apartment. The Special Task Force of the Uttar Pradesh Police believes that this video is from Asad's apartment in Lucknow. And according to the police, Asad was actually following in his father's footsteps to be the next big mafia don, not just of Prayagraj or eastern Uttar Pradesh, but across the state.
The dreaded Dawn is dead. But many in UP still shiver remembering Atiq's empire of fear. This video of Atiq's gangsters stripping a man and brutally beating him up with a belt. It shows how Atiq used fear as a weapon. The video, reportedly from 2021, was recovered from Atiq's slain son Asad's mobile phone after his encounter killing, and proves secret torture cells run by Atiq's gang. Atiq's son Asad fancied himself as a dreaded Don from his early days. Several images of the word Don scribbled on his face have surfaced. In one image, Asad is seen sitting with a background poster which reads, "Land of the Ultimate Gangsters." In a big exclusive, India Today found fresh bloodstains and a blood-soaked knife and clothes inside Atiq's now abandoned office.
पुलिस ने कुछ चीजें बताई हैं बैक कैमरा कि ये देखकर ऐसा ही लगता है कि काफी नए हैं, यानी कि धब्बे जो खून के हैं ये कल रात या परसों के हैं। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि ये एक दिन के, ये काफी दिन पुराने हैं, ऐसा बिल्कुल भी नहीं है। तो ये सवाल उठता है, ये स्टोव का आप देख सकते हैं पड़ा हुआ है और करीब से मैं आपको लेकर चलूंगा, उस तरफ से लेकर चलूंगा जहां पर और अस्त व्यस्त तरीके से फैला हुआ है। यहां पर आइए मेरे साथ और ये देखिए आप यहां पर आप देखिए किस तरह से पूरी जो सामान है, पूरा जो सामान है वो अस्त व्यस्त है और जो महिलाओं के कपड़े यहाँ पर पड़े हैं वो आप उस पर मैं बार कैमरा की तरफ ले जा रहा हूं। ये वो दुपट्टा जिसका मैं जिक्र आपसे कर रहा था, यही वो दुपट्टा है, यानी कि दुपट्टा, वो कुर्ती, वो एक महिला की जो टूटी चूड़ियां पड़ी हैं यहाँ पर, वो और उसके अलावा एक पर्स। तो ये किस ओर इशारा है, ये सोचने वाली बात है।
India Today had earlier exposed Atiq's den of debauchery, where he reportedly watched mujra shows and indulged in sleazy acts with women.
यहाँ पर आप जैसे ही अंदर प्रवेश करेंगे तो आपको ये 3 गद्दे नुमा एक एरिया बनाया गया है कि यहां पर लोग आकर के बैठ सकें और ये बहुत ही क्लोज जो होते थे अतीक अहमद के, जो नियर एंड डियर और बहुत विश्वसनीय लोग होते थे, वही लोग इस कमरे में आते थे। और सबसे अहम बात कि इस कमरे की आवाज बाहर नहीं जा सकती। ये हम खुद आपको बताते हैं कि हम जब हॉल में थे तो हमारी आवाज खुद गूंज रही थी, लेकिन यहां पर आवाज नहीं गूंज रही है। और बाकायदा इसका इंतजाम कैसे किया गया, देखिए फ्लोर को भी एक तरीके से साउंड प्रूफ रखा गया। चर्चा तो यहां तक है इस कमरे में अतीक अहमद मुजरा भी देखता था, उसके लोग उस मुजरे का आनंद भी लेते थे। ये तब होता था जब अतीक अहमद बहुत खुश होता था।
Meanwhile, the hunt for Mafia Atiq Ahmed's wife Shaista Parveen continues. The special investigation team is probing who all are helping the Mafia Begum escape the police's dragnet. With Samarth Srivastav in Prayagraj, UP, Bureau Report, India Today.
Big story coming in from Sudan. Operation Kaveri to rescue Indian nationals caught in the crossfire in Khartoum is currently underway. So far, 500 Indian nationals have successfully reached Port Sudan. This is approximately 800 kilometers from capital Khartoum. It's towards the north. INS Sumedha, a Saryu-class petrol vessel, is standing by to ferry them to safety. 2 Indian Air Force C-130J Super Hercules transport aircraft are also on standby at Jeddah. France, meanwhile, has successfully rescued 388 people of 28 countries, including India. We bring you this report. Operation Kaveri is underway to bring back Indian citizens stranded in Sudan. The situation in Sudan's capital, Khartoum, remains volatile. There are tanks and armed militia and forces on the streets. Gun battles are being reported. The Sudanese airspace remains closed except for emergency rescue flights. External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar has confirmed 500 Indians have reached Port Sudan and more are on their way. Indian Navy ship INS Sumedha, a Saryu-class petrol vessel, is on standby at Port Sudan to bring back the stranded Indians. 2 C-130J Hercules transport aircraft of the Indian Air Force are also on standby at Jeddah to immediately fly in and rescue the trapped Indians. The French Embassy in India announced that last night 2 military flight rotations successfully evacuated 388 people of 28 countries, including Indian nationals. The situation on ground remains a cause for grave concern. On the weekend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired a high-level meeting on evacuation of Indians in Sudan. Both the warring factions of the Sudanese security forces have given a nod for evacuation of foreign nationals. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken said he was in touch with the Sudanese leadership to ensure evacuation of foreign nationals.
It's a fragile situation. There are other actors that may be pushing against that progress, but this is a real opportunity to finally carry forward the civilian-led transition, and one that we and other countries are trying to bolster. So we're very focused on that, along with other partners.
The war for control of Sudan is between General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, the commander of the Sudanese Armed Forces, and General Mohammed Hamadan Dagalo, head of the Rapid Support Force, the main paramilitary force of Sudan. The war in Africa's third largest country has alarmed the world. Sudan, incidentally, is no stranger to coup or multiple coup attempts. Since 1956, there have been 35 coup attempts in Sudan. 6, of course, were successful. Bureau Report, India Today. India is developing border villages on a war footing in Arunachal Pradesh. Efforts are on to provide 4G mobile telephony connectivity in and around Tawang and villages close to the line of actual control. Now, more than 250 network towers have been installed for connectivity in more than 300 border villages in Arunachal Pradesh, the land of the rising sun. India Today's Milan Sharma is on ground zero. She spoke to Union Law Minister Kiran Rijiju in Tawang on the development initiative. We get you more in this report.
For the people of this village, near the line of actual control in Tawang, even a 4G mobile tower is a blessing. Sangeeta, a young Mongpa Buddhist from Changbu village, is elated. She can make digital payments more often than before.
कुछ भी जानकारी चाहे न्यूज़ चाहे इंडिया में कुछ भी न्यूज़ चल रहे तो वो सब और फिर बात इधर उधर बात फैमिली से करना ना ये सब और वीडियो कुछ भी बनाते हैं तो जहाँ भी जाते हैं तो वो सब से हमें बहुत फायदा होता है इससे.
To boost the connectivity along the LAC in Arunachal Pradesh, the government has sanctioned more than 250 new 4G network towers to connect more than 300 villages. This will benefit 70,000 people living in frontier villages and is a shot in the arm for the armed forces too.
We are in Tawang in Arunachal Pradesh, just 5 kilometers away aerially from the line of control, that is the LAC of Arunachal Pradesh. But here at the moment, what the government is doing is trying to connect the entire state through telecom networks and erecting these telecom towers across the villages near the LAC. This is government's counter to what China is doing across the LAC from here in building infrastructure on the other side.
But in the Changbu village, locals feel that there is a need for more such 4G towers.
टावर लगाया तो हमको तो फायदा बहुत मिल रहा है लेकिन यहाँ पे इतना अच्छा से नहीं आता है मैडम क्योंकि यहाँ पे जब लाइट नहीं होगा तो टावर पे इतना ठीक से नहीं मिल रहा है हम लोग को इसलिए और थोड़ा अच्छा से लगा देने से अच्छा
और टावर चाहिए आप लोगों को
जी थोड़ा अच्छा से वही मेंटेन करके अच्छा से लगा देने से मैडम.
Another resident lamented that not just telecom towers, the area also needs continuous power supply.
पहले से तो अभी बहुत अच्छा हो गया यहाँ पे पहले तो BSNL था अभी मतलब अभी हाँ एयरटेल वगैरह आया हुआ लेकिन एयरटेल भी वही है अभी मतलब लाइट का प्रॉब्लम लाइट जाने से एयरटेल मतलब नेटवर्क खत्म हो जाता है वही अभी प्रॉब्लम है वही इश्यू है अगर लाइट अच्छा से होगा तो टावर भी अच्छा रहता है.
The administration in Tawang endeavors to iron out such problems.
हमारा जो तवांग डिस्ट्रिक्ट में ये एग्जिस्टिंग टावर्स अराउंड 59 है जिसमें से 25 एयरटेल का है देन 13 ये 21 BSNL का है देन 13 वोडाफोन का एग्जिस्टिंग इसमें से अराउंड 10 जो टावर्स है तो उसमें वो 4G में कन्वर्ट हो चुका है ऑलमोस्ट. बिजली का तो थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम है तवांग में लेकिन हमारे जो तवांग डिस्ट्रिक्ट है वो जो नेशनल ग्रिड से कनेक्ट है अगर लाइन में कुछ फॉल्ट होता है तो लाइट चला जाता है अदरवाइज हमारा लोकल ग्रिड भी है. सिक्योरिटी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है मैम.
The target is to connect every border village in Arunachal with 4G in the next 6 to 7 months. If done right, this could prove a counter to China's infrastructure expansion close to the LAC.
The dedication of 254 4G towers to the people of Arunachal Pradesh by the Government of India is no less than a beautiful gift by Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji to the loving people of Arunachal Pradesh.
Even though the government has erected telecom towers across the LAC in Arunachal Pradesh, continuous supply of power to operate these towers is still a challenge that needs to be met. Locals say that yes, they have received facilities that are helping them change the way they work in border villages, but this is also India's counter to China's territorial and infrastructural expansion along the LAC on the other side. In Arunachal Pradesh from Tawang, with camera person Prem Chandra Mishra, this is Milan Sharma for India Today.
The hijab controversy had taken Karnataka by storm. It had a mega showdown. There was a mega showdown, including global headlines, but the state stood firm. In schools, uniform had to be respected. This was also upheld by court. Some girls were in a tough situation to choose between kitab and hijab. 18-year-old Tabassum Sheikh made her choice, and this is her story.
Hijab is our right. We want justice. We want justice.
Months after the face-off over a ban on hijab on campus put the state of Karnataka on the edge, an 18-year-old student has put the fight behind her to emerge on top. Tabassum Sheikh is the topper in art stream in the second Karnataka PUC examination. Her dedication towards academics has Karnataka and the country in awe.
I used to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning. I feel really fresh and rejuvenated after a good night's rest, and that's when I would start studying, and I would study up till 8 o'clock, and then obviously at 9:30 I have college, so I have to get ready for that, and then I'd come back and I would revise my notes. So it was almost 6 to 8 hours of study daily.
Tabassum used to wear a hijab regularly. She says she faced immense mental pressure when the ban was upheld by courts, and she was given no choice, and she was left to choose between studies and hijab.
When the verdict came out, my parents, they encouraged me to comply with the orders, and I did not attend college for 2 weeks because I was very confused about what I should do. But my parents said that if I was able to acquire an education, then I could get to a position where I could prevent such injustices from happening in the future.
Tabassum has perhaps set an example for many. Education first is India first. So very clearly, for Tabassum, it was education first and India first. That is all we have for you on this special broadcast.